So I'm going to run down through a list of what's already been published, and if there's questions, hopefully I can answer some of them. I'm not an expert in any of it. I've just been privileged to a lot of this information. And obviously I share this with my businesses, small businesses that I work with, and I've been trying to share it on Facebook Live as well, because I've just had a lot of business owners spiraling out of control in the last week. So first of all, the banks have freed up quite a lot of capital. So if you're needing a tax holiday on your bond payments or any other kind of payments that you have, you do need to go and have a chat with your banks. You can't just not pay. You've got to have a conversation with them, but they have freed up a whole lot of money for this. Nedbank has come to the party with, it's called SAFT, S-A-F-T loan. So if you're a Nedbank, if you bank with Nedbank, they are allowing an interest-free loan for the next 5 years to try and help businesses get back on track. So that's quite exciting. All the other banks have some sort of incentive as well, but each one is very different, and they will only analyze it on a case-to-case scenario. So I can't give you a blanket what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Then if you have staff in your business and organization, anybody earning less than 6,500 Rand, there's a grant for them. So the difference between a grant and a fund, the grant you don't have to pay back. So from the 1st of April until the 31st of July, there is a grant. So they do it per person, and it's on a downward scaling. So if you earn 6,500, you'll get a little bit more, a little bit less than if you earn 4,500, for example. And they're starting with 500 Rand and then moving down. And this is for the next 4 months. So it's to try and encourage the people that earn less money to stay within the organizations. For the businesses that have a turnover of less than 50 million, your PAYE that you pay, you can hold back 20% per month for the next 4 months, and then only pay that back after a 6-month period. So basically you're getting an interest-free loan from SARS for that. Then the provisional tax is a tax relief that you should be paying now. Your next round, you only need to pay 15%. And then the second payment, 65%, not 100%. And then your third payment is when you would catch up what it is you have not paid. So it's also giving you a little bit of time to get a little bit of extra money in. CFA have loans available right now for businesses that are needing extra loans. The Department of Small Business, SMME-SA, have three different kinds of funds available: a growth fund, a finance relief fund, and a COVID-19 fund. So each one is slightly different, but it's a process where you've got to go onto their website, complete the documentation, and send it, and then they will analyze per request that comes through. There are funds that have been put together, 1 billion Rand from Masepe, 2 Oppenheimer funds of 1 billion Rand each, and Solidarity Fund has now also got 2 billion Rand. And these are loans with a very low interest-bearing rate that they have now scheduled. Business Partners has the 1 billion Rand from Rupert. It's a 1-year no repayment, and thereafter you'll be paying back, and obviously with an interest-bearing account at the same time. There is NEF. You can apply for a fund. It's from 500,000 to 10 million Rand, and this is they're going to give you a 12-month holiday on repayment, and thereafter you'll start paying back also on a very low interest over 60 months. They've put aside 2 billion Rand for Black-owned businesses within this fund. That they're currently looking at the moment, but no decision has been made as of yet. Treasury is hoping to do a payment type plan. For businesses that turn over 50 million, the Treasury had assumed that those businesses would be okay. But as we've seen with Edgar's and a couple of others, they're not okay. So they're busy looking and to see how they can release that kind of stress. But no plans have been put together for that yet. Students, the government's engaging with all the students and all the facilities and institutions, because obviously they're not at varsity at the moment. And how do they do it online? Some of them have already got it up and running, others haven't, but they're putting together a plan of action per institution, and that will only be announced from the institution and not from the government. Tourism, there's a fund available for 2 different funds available from the tourism. Originally when it came out, it said you had to be level 1 or 2. That's not true. Obviously favor BE level 1s and 2s, but there is funds available for that. Then UIF, COVID-19 tours. There's also, you can decide 3 different ways of going around UIF if you have staff. But the tours, COVID-19 is probably the best way to go unless you were in financial difficulty before COVID started. So the COVID-19 is a bulk submission, and you will get payment, or staff will get paid for the next 3 months from the 1st of April. So you have to have paid your March salaries, obviously. It's a portion of the salary, it's not the full salary, and it goes up to the maximum of 17,712 Rand per month. So I'm not sure why the 12 Rand, but anyway. Then there has been a lot of discrepancy around landlords and tenants, because our president said that you don't have to pay rent. That, however, is not true. You do have to pay rent unless you make arrangements with your landlord. So depending on what you're going to do going forward, this is quite a controversial subject, and a lawyer needs to get involved at this point, because if you want to continue a relationship in the buildings that you're currently leasing from, the best is to pay a portion negotiated with yourself and the landlord. If you decide that you're not going to go forward, there could be a case against you going forward. So the best right now is to have a conversation. Most landlords are looking at doing a percentage of your rent and not the full rent, but that depends on each and every landlord. A Schoeman law is available if you go onto her website. She's prepared to give 10 minutes of her time for free, just to help businesses steer them in the right direction. But when it comes down to specific cases, you're obviously going to need to spend some more time with her. Then there's other things like force majeure. So if you're involved in a contract with somebody, or somebody with you, force majeure means foreseeable circumstances. So there's a lot of instances you can get out of a lot of contracts. So for example, travel. They need to refund you now if you were planning to travel, that kind of thing. There's a lot of hotels and airlines that are trying to get away with this, but that's in most of the contracts that you take out with insurance that you do. And then the other aspect of it is the insurance that you've taken out from your company's point of view. What is written in your insurance contracts? Because a lot of cases right now, a lot of money has been set aside specifically for business owners if you're unable to work, and that's involved. That would be part of your company insurance that you've taken out. Any questions?
Well, there's a whole lot of information. Is this somewhere that we can access? Diane, have you put it up on a website for us somewhere?
I have put some of it up. Obviously, every day there's something new coming. I will put it up on my Facebook page so that I can just keep adding to it as it comes through.
Perfect. So we can just find you straight on Facebook. That's awesome. Okay. So there's a question here: is how quickly will the UIF fund pay out to staff?
You've got to get your submissions in now. Obviously, everybody's getting their submissions in, but they will pay the end of April. So you must have paid March already, but the end of April they will pay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Jason, you had a question?
Semi-question. I'm trying to take notes over here while you're going, and I'm falling behind trying to concentrate on what you're saying and taking notes. You said a lot of the links will be on your Facebook. We're not Facebook friends. What is your surname, Diane, so that I can find you on Facebook?
You can go onto my brand analytics page, but my surname is Boorman, B-O-O-R-M-A-N. I'll put it onto my company's Facebook page.
Okay, which is analytics.
Brand analytics.
Brand analytics. Okay, I'm going to look for you after this.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So just remember, most of the ones that are available right now are funds. That means that most of them you have to pay back. Okay? I can't reiterate this too much because we get into a scenario where we believe that it's money to hand over. America has done that. Trump has given everybody, I think it's $1,500 US, everybody that's a taxpayer. It hasn't happened in South Africa, not as yet. There is one fund which is part of the Business Partners Fund. I don't know if you've seen that. It's called Sukuma. There you can apply for a loan, but you get $25,000 as a grant. So that $25,000 is not payback money.